So today we're working through one of my strength sessions for the week. So it's Tuesday. This is like my third day in a row of training, so feeling pretty tired. Did a long run on Sunday, ran last night, strength today. Tomorrow is rest day. So what I'm doing is I'm just working through a couple of drills. First one being a balance kind of strength drill. Nice way, or balance and body weight strength basically. Nice way of beginning to warm everything up, especially the areas that I'm going to be using later on. Obviously single leg stability being having a huge impact upon running, so definitely a quality that I want to make sure I'm working on. And then a conditioning drill that's all body weight as well. Again, just a nice way of beginning to move, beginning to get a little bit of blood flow, increase quality of movement. So that's always the way that I prefer to warm up before going into slightly more demanding lifts. So both of these things I've actually learned from Tom Cradgington down at Body Development in Bath. So I'm kind of blending lots of stuff together. So a little bit of body weight, a little bit of flow stuff. We'll then work on some heavier strength-based stuff further into the session. Done. Feeling nice and warm now. Obviously a bit of kind of body weight, a bit of skill stuff as well, which is always something I like to kind of put on the front end of my workout while I feel fresh, while I feel good. Nice way of being able to combine some stuff to obviously get you warm, get you moving well, but also begin working on some skill elements. So I might change between doing some floor work and some body weight flow, using the parallettes, using the rings. A lot of stuff I've been working on outside of the running and the strength stuff is kind of those skill-based stuff. And just being able to do like 10 minutes every session is a nice way to see some continued improvement while being able to combine it with some other bits. So going to work onto a bit more power, some more single leg strength stuff. As you'll see through most of this workout, kind of main things I'm trying to emphasize are developing kind of single leg strength, total strength, which will come into our front squat, and obviously doing a full body workout. I only have kind of 2 main strength sessions a week. I will sometimes tag on a third one depending on how I'm feeling, but obviously trying to squeeze all your strength work into kind of 2 main sessions means that you are kind of working several different things. So you've done a bit of body weight, a bit of skill work. Now going to do some power, some single leg strength work. So, just been doing hang power cleans and some single leg strength work. Now just about to move on to a front squat and then some pogo jumps. So essentially what I'm looking to do is build several different qualities throughout the strength session. So I'm not just looking at building, just strength or just power or just single leg strength and stability. I'm kind of looking at increasing a load of different qualities. And realistically, it's going to take, me sticking at a program for a period of time and adjusting and, progressing that to actually see the benefits long term. Now, I think one of the reasons most people go wrong is that firstly, they don't understand what they're trying to build. And then secondly, they don't really have an appreciation for how they're going to build it. In simple terms, there's many different types of strength you can build, right? So You've got explosive strength, which is what you think of as like power athletes. You've got max strength, which is something like a squat or a deadlift, which you see powerlifters build. You've got strength endurance, which, you know, for someone like myself who's going to be doing longer distances of running, is definitely something I want to look to build. You've got relative strength, which is strength relative to your body weight. But people just think strength is lifting a barbell up or doing a squat. Whereas you can get strong in any of those to suit your needs. It isn't just you get strong by deadlifting, you get strong by squatting, you get strong by bench pressing. So having an appreciation of what you're trying to build, why you're trying to build it, is key to you getting the results you want. Do I need to be doing a front squat? No. Why am I doing it? Because I enjoy front squatting essentially, and I enjoy the feeling that I get over moving a heavy load. Arguably, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be counterproductive to my goals, but could I pick something that's better? Yes. For me, it's not a case of I just want to be the best runner. I want to build strength, power, relative strength, you know, so I want to build a multitude of these qualities, hence the reason my training looks the way it does, you know. Firstly, before you actually enter a phase of training, it's beginning to have an idea of what you actually want to build and what the appropriate level is for you. If you are a runner who has never done any strength training before and it's their first time in the gym, then actually doing some single leg stability and some body weight strength is going to be probably about the right level for you. As long as you're adapting and progressing the movements you're choosing, you're going to see some strength. You know, whether that is a 3 rep max bench press or press ups, it just depends on what one you want to improve. The other thing that's worth kind of talking about is what is a transfer from strength training across to running. And there's kind of a multitude of different reasons again of why it's important. There is decreased risk of injury. There's a bit of controversy on this because people will say, well, actually, you know, lifting weights isn't going to make you less injury prone, which is true. Like, there's a lot of reasons around injury, but being stronger and more robust will not be negative, for one. And also, if you think about injury, a lot of the time when people are getting injured, it's because they push themselves beyond the capabilities that their bodies can handle. If you are actually doing something in the gym that is going to allow your body to be more capable, then through a byproduct of that, you are going to be reducing the risk of injury. The other side of it is about your running economy, which is how much energy you use to run each step, each kilometre. Now, the stronger you are, the better position you're going to be able to hold, which means the more economic you're going to be, which means you'll use less energy to go the same distance, and your breakdown in form will be slower. Now, again, where do we see people getting injured with running? It's generally where they have a breakdown in form at the latter end of runs, of races, or in the latter stages of training where they're putting a demand on their body that it can't cope with. The final piece that I think is so important, that is completely, I don't even think most people think of it, but is the connection you build with your body. Now, this is one of the reasons, again, I will always favour free weights over a machine, because essentially what a machine is doing is it's stabilising the moving parts where you would balance. So in creating that stability, it reduces your need to have that proprioception, that feedback from, say, the floor. For example, if you're doing a leg press, a single leg press, you're not needing to worry about your balance. Your body isn't needing to, you know, your head isn't having to speak to your foot and work out, okay, do I need my knee to come out? How do I stabilise? How do I move? That, for a runner, and for most people, is a really useful thing to begin to emphasise and train. The amount of runners that I have that come in to me that struggle to stand on one leg for a minute is ridiculous. That is literally what they're doing when they're running. They're hopping on one leg. So if they're struggling to stabilise on one leg, that is something we can instantly improve and see a massive, you know, performance benefit from. Now, majority of people spend most of the time sat down. So my kind of philosophy around strength training is, you know, appreciated I'm sat down doing this, but get people up out, get them standing, get them moving. Don't put them in a gym on a machine sitting down where they spend most of their day. Not only do we want to get them up, we've got to get them moving, but also it is that element of stability, control, and beginning to have a better understanding of moving your body and where it is that is going to allow you to have a greater performance benefit. So you won't see me doing anything machine-based. You'll see a lot of stuff where I'm having to stabilize on one leg, because again, that is something that is going to help my running in the long run, is being able to know where my foot is without looking at it, being able to recruit the muscle that I need to perform the task that I'm doing. Hopefully, you've got something useful out of that. Cool, so something else to think about in terms of strength development is how you can increase your strength. If you look at that front squat, there's a couple of things that I'm working on aside from moving the load from A to B. Number one, trying to control the bit coming down. So trying to slow that and keep that under control rather than just letting gravity take me down. So I'm controlling that eccentric phase of the movement. Second bit is I'm actually working at the bottom. So there's a 2-second pause, or there should be. It feels like a lot longer when you're down there, but there's a 2-second isometric where I'm actually thinking about squeezing my glutes and holding that position. Not only does that kind of kill the momentum, so you're then having to overcome that force and go back up, but also it's a great way of developing strength without actually needing to put more load on the bar. And as I said, there's several different ways you can get stronger. It's not just about lifting more weight. It is, can you do more reps? Can you do more sets? Can you control the movement better? Does the movement feel easier? So it's not always a case of us just chucking more and more weight on week in, week out. It is using those different things, those different elements of our lift to actually begin to develop that overall strength. That isometric in the bottom is a brilliant way of being able to get stronger without adding any more weight on, because when that then goes back into a rep where I'm not pausing, it's going to feel a lot easier and I'll be able to lift more weight. So there's a couple of different ways that we can think about how we build strength that don't just rely on more and more weight on the whole time. Cool, so that's it done. Finished up with kind of banded dish hold position, and then also going into a single leg glute march. Like, that's a nice combination. I'd give that a go. It's just starting a normal dish. Over time, as you progress it, you can add in a band, which is going to add in an extra kind of element or make it a little bit harder. And then same with the glute bridge. Start with normal glute bridge, then you can begin bringing one leg off. Makes it a little bit more difficult. So yeah, a bit more single leg, a quad glute based session today, a bit more lunging, and then the other session I do will be more based around hip hinge and then hamstrings as well. So there's a little bit of variation there. But yeah, hopefully you found that interesting, got some useful information out of it. I'd say my big top 3 tips for if someone is coming into the gym for the first time, if they do want to get progressively stronger and they want to see some results. Number 1, get a program and stick to it for like a long time. That, for me, has always worked well. Everyone is very quick to want to change their program after 4 weeks. Well, to be honest, after 4 weeks, you're probably only just getting into the rhythm of it. So it'll be the next 4, 6, 8 weeks where you're really going to see the progression. So rather than trying to find the new thing or the magic bullet, stick to something for a long time and you'll see results. The second part of it is to progress it. And as we've talked about in this session, there's so many ways you can progress it. You can add weight, you can add reps, you can add sets, but you can also seek for more control. You can also add in pauses. You can also just literally, in terms of like your own internal feedback, do you know what? That was easier than last week. That felt more comfortable. So however you're progressing it, make sure you're noting it down. Make sure you're understanding when it's time to push up. Keep the quality high. And then that will, again, see you progressing a lot further along, and it will see you progressing faster because you're less at risk of things like injury or pushing yourself too far too soon. And the final bit is just like work hard, right? So, that's what you're here to do. Most people are short on time, very busy, so you only have a small window of opportunity that you're here, that you've dedicated to the gym. Don't spend half that time scrolling on Instagram, looking at your phone the whole time, answering your WhatsApps. If you look around the gym on any given day, most people are going to be sitting there on their phone scrolling, right? The only reason you should be using your phone really is if you have your program on your phone or if you've got a timer. A timer is probably the most useful use of your phone in the gym, because rather than you thinking you've waited 60 seconds and you've actually done 3 minutes sitting there scrolling Instagram, it actually gives you some valuable feedback. Set 45 seconds, and then once that 45-second timer is out, go again. You need to come in, you need to work hard. If you do those 3 things over the next 2, 3, 4 months, I guarantee you'll see more results then than you probably have done in the last year or so, okay? There's no magic bullet to come in and get strong. There's no big thing, there's no secret. The secret is come in, work hard, make sure you're progressing week on week and stick to your plan. Done. Mic drop.